This podcast is brought to you by Body Armor. Drink BodyArmor.com. Get your edge.
Introducing Body Armor Edge, sports hydration with the boost of caffeine.
Here comes John Morant, dribbles up into some full court pressure. He's quick, Josh is blowing by the defense, going coast to coast. One man to beat, and it's the big man. John leaps up. Oh, and hammers.
With 100 milligrams of caffeine and 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes, there's no better way for John Morant to get his edge. It's more than a sports drink. It's Body Armor Edge.
You're listening to EPPN's Today with DW Sports Edition with DW, Mr. Tom Greer, and Snacks.
Welcome to the Tuesday night edition of Today with DW. Yes, I am fucking back. It's been 2 weeks. I got to say thank you so much for Mr. Tom Greer sitting in the captain's seat last week with 10 minutes of learning how to do the backstage. Literally 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And
I appreciate you having that much faith in me, Herb. That it meant a lot.
Just turn yourself down just a tad. There's something going on with Streamyard. When you started last week, it's the same thing. You peak real high in the beginning of your first few sentences. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's on your end or in Streamyard. But the rest of the show last week, again, Snacks, Tom Greer stepping it up, taking over. And I know Snacks was giving me a lot of crap on the episode. Trust me, I was in the backstage listening.
We've been doing this we've been doing this for a while, Herb. I'm used to the snacks hurling crap at people. It's okay.
Yeah, that's all right. Well, I'm not used to it. He only hurls crap when I'm not on the show. And so he was doing it incognito, I guess. What's going on, Timmy? Thank you for joining us. And thank you for Timmy for joining me on the early show of the Cayman Social. Jeez, I have so many podcasts going on right now. I don't even know what name is. But anyway. Again, Mr. Greer, thank you so much last week. I understand. I mean, you are our producer already, but I can understand. And I think people need to understand you're used to a system. I'm used to this system. I've been doing it since March 13th of last year. Tom has his own system. He is the producer of Grindhouse Radio. So he has his own. He does Streamlabs. So literally, no joke. It was literally 10 minutes before the show goes on going, do this, do this, do that, do this. And if you listen to the show, you know, Tom misclicked one of the commercials. He went to the standard StreamYard 30-second countdown. And I knew this was going to happen, not against Tom, but I knew that, you know, I got to stay backstage for a little bit, at least the first 10, 15 minutes of the show. And I clicked it and you'll hear him going, thank God Herb's here. So anyway.
Yeah, it was good to have you at least along for the ride for a little bit because, you know, I just needed to be guided a little bit. I needed just to, okay, this is how this works. I needed my one mess. I allotted my one mess up and then we were fine.
I got to tell you though, since Snacks is on snackcation. He's on the snackcation today. He's not going to be here. It looks like getting all three of us to get together on a show is going to be hard. So since Snacks is running the Green Jackets as the owner, we usually talk a little bit of non-sports stuff in the beginning to ease into the show. So I wanted to take this time because we're two producers, we're two engineers. Mm-hmm. I think people don't seem to understand, and maybe I'm patting myself on the back and I'm patting yourself on the back of how easy the show looks from a viewer. So we're using different. Are you using OBS? Is that what you're using for that?
Yeah, we are using it's Streamlabs OBS. It's the shinier interface than regular OBS. Yeah. So
I've used OBS. It's a little too labor intensive on my laptops. Even though I have a new one, I'm not a fan of it. Yes, it's very customizable and you can do a lot. That's where I started with OBS before the pandemic. I'm liking StreamYard just for the ease of interface and whatnot. But both the shows, different applications, but the audio is great. The show is smooth. My show, your show. people don't seem to understand how much work it actually takes
Yeah.
to put on a show. Yes, this is simple, it's clean, but there's more to it than just putting a couple graphics up and a ticker on the bottom. Yes, there's a lot of back end stuff. So I guess let's talk a little bit about what actually goes into the production of a show. Now, I'm daily, which is a little bit different than you guys. You guys are weekly. I used to be weekly.
Yeah.
How much time do you put into the one weekly show? Now, you are the producer and engineer. I know Zambo's taking a little bit of a break, so there's a little bit more work on your end, especially probably a little bit more work live than maybe back end, I would assume at this point.
Well, it's also, I do want to give a shout out to to our other engineer, Alex Aponte. He's our other engineer that we have in there. Him, he's made it very easy for Zambo to take this break because it's not just me. We got him, and he's an audio wizard. But no, it does take a lot.
How come he doesn't get he's the audio wizard, but he gets the smallest block on the you can barely see the poor little guy.
Yeah, we have to fix the camera situation. But but that kind of goes into it, especially when you're speaking from the Streamlabs end on our end, we got to customize literally everything, like the layout of the screen, where the cameras are going to be positioned, where our chat's going to be positioned, like the whole look and vibe of the stream has to be put together, and it's constantly changing. Like I can't tell you how many times I'm sitting in a studio on a Wednesday when I'm sitting and chilling with Brim, and he's like, "Ooh, I just made this," and sends me a new graphic, and I got to change the entire layout.
Preaching to the choir, my friend. I know.
It sucks even more when I'm sitting there, putting GHR together and stuff like that. Me and Brim have a show, Truly Inconsequential, that goes off every Wednesday.
Which is an awesome show. Check them out on Wednesdays from 2 to 2:30.
Appreciate that. And it'll be like, okay, so the show goes on at 2, and he'll send me at 1:30, be like, "Oh, I got this new graphic. Can you throw this in?" It's like, yeah, cool, great. Thank you for telling me this right now. You couldn't tell me like an hour ago. You could have made it earlier, but now a lot of work goes into it, but it doesn't feel like as much work when it's like fun,
And it's not, and we joke. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, again, I've been doing this daily since April 7th, actually. And obviously before that with Fanboys Inc. And we used OBS with Fanboys Inc. And I get the understanding of the custom graphics. You don't just put up one screen and it just miraculously appears. We have to design this, whether through Photoshop or Canva, whatever it may be. It takes time, and not only that, you have to test it. So is the sizing right? So then you have to test it through a private server, which I do. I put Streamyard has allowed you to make it private, so I have to test all these images. I'm sure you do as well.
Yeah,
that we provide something. I don't want to sound like we're being cocky or whatnot, but we want to make a great show for you guys. Obviously, Grindhouse Radio is different than Today with DW, and all our shows on the network are different than each other, but it takes time. And the added bonus is our content is free. And I know that I've been talking about doing a Patreon version of Today with DW to give extra content, to generate some money, and as well as giving free content. And I've been toying with that. And that's something for me to be like, I've been doing this free since 2012. Do I want to go to the Patreon? Do I want to go to the paywall? Do I want to do something like that? I know we have a fan base, and I know some fans would do it, but at the same time, it's one of those things where, like, do you want to upset your fan base? I'm not paying for that. But at the same time, well, if you don't want to pay $4 a month, do you not like our content? So that's the thing that I've always been, as a producer, engineer, and the owner is struggling with it. And with the paid content, it would be added content. It wouldn't just be Today with DW Tuesday through Friday. It'd be extra, maybe a special interview with a celebrity guest, or added bonus features, or you come on our show as a guest. That would be one of the tiers kind of thing. But I want to really give props to Tom, Zambo, Alex, any of the engineers, any of the producers that are putting out podcasts that you listen to. It sounds good, looks easy. We put on a great show. It takes a lot of work, people. It does not just mean that we're 5 minutes walking into the show and just producing the show. It takes time. And I hope all of you appreciate what we do. And I think you guys do. I think our listeners are great. What's going on, Kim? The
Yeah,
first
'cause,
lady
like,
of podcasting.
Look, I always say, like, anybody can make. When we used to do our GHR, we used to do our podcast 101s. We travel to libraries and tell people about podcasting and stuff like that. I'd always say anybody can make a podcast. It's not it's not hard. It's not rocket science, but you can tell the ones that people actually put work and effort in, that they just like. You can tell which ones are the podcasts where people aren't just sitting down and throwing something together in 5 minutes. You can tell when you have a show that somebody puts time and effort into, and then it usually shows. You usually get the reaction that you're looking for, and you can clearly tell the difference.
Correct.
Well,
So I mean, I sound like a broken record because I've been saying this since 2012. Kevin Smith obviously is one of my biggest influencers. The biggest thing I've always had with Kevin, and I know with some people are like, really going to say this again, DW? Because I've said it numerous times. I don't know, probably over 100 times throughout multiple podcasts and being a guest, is Kevin for years, and he hasn't done it in the last couple, but he's like, you have a phone, you can make a podcast. You have a USB microphone, you can make a podcast. Anybody can do it, as you said.
Yeah.
But Kevin gives the misnomer or the misconception that you're going to be Kevin Smith, or you're going to be Grindhouse Radio, or you're going to be us, or you're going to be Mark Maron. Let's go top notch. Let's go Mark Maron, Adam Ferreira, Joe Rogan. I mean, he makes it out like you're going to be a superstar. That is the issue that I've always had with Kevin, saying, yes, anybody can do it. It's great. And you have an audio catalog, an audio documentary, or or an audio album of what you're doing that you can share with friends years down the road. But you're not going to be a superstar. And Kevin makes it out to be like anybody can just get their iPhone and do that, which you just said it, and which I've said numerous times. Yes, anybody can start a podcast. And the standard life of a podcast is 10 episodes. That is the average life of a brand new podcast. After 10 episodes, it dies. That is still the standard to this day. And it was, I think we brought it out in 2015, and it still holds today. You see, that's why when you go onto iTunes, and when they did that marketing research article, I want to say might have been March or April of last year, that iTunes hit 1 million podcasts. First time ever in history, obviously.
Yeah.
But 57% of them are dead. Only 43% of them are still alive. So they're just sitting there. They're being cataloged, but 57% of those podcasts have not done a new or current episode. 43% are live. Now, which kind of sucks for people like us, like Grindhouse or Random Shit Random Guy. If they're dead, get the iTunes or Stitcher or Spotify, pull them off. If they're dead after a while, there should be a point where just pull them out of the stream and not be shown. Again, there might be some exceptions, but why keep that 57% up there when they haven't been active after 6 months, 7 months, over a year at this point?
I get that. Even then, maybe not even just delete them or take them off. Just make them. Maybe if you have an ability to hide them, like if somebody isn't like updating or anything, or keeping track of their podcast or stuff like that, they're not giving people new content. Right. Why not just like hide it? Just like maybe put it, like, hide it away. If they upload again, cool. You get
archive it, and then if they do upload it, then all of a sudden it pops them back up.
Exactly.
But I think
because I know what you mean. It does. Well, it does, because it floods the market of a bunch of people like making podcasts, and there's a bunch of people that aren't working on it, but it's still there. And you have plenty of other podcasters that are pumping out show after show. Like you said, you podcast every day of the week. I'm getting close to that. I record a show. I do a live show and then record a show on Mondays. We do this on Tuesdays. I got Truly coming up on tomorrow. On Wednesday, and then I got the Magic Kim time that I record with Kim on Fridays. I just need to have something that I do on Thursday, and I'm podcasting every day of the week, every day of the work week. So, you got plenty of people that are really trying and really making it, trying to make it a thing, and then you have a whole bunch of other shows that don't really care. But I do want to say something. The Kevin Smith thing. I think Kevin Smith I think when he says stuff like that, he just means he's just trying to urge people to get out there and create. Because I never
totally
took it.
agree. I totally agree with you with that. But the way he says it, he wants people to create. He is a creator and he loves people who create. I mean, I've met him numerous times, and his enthusiasm is amazing. But the way he says it, and the way it's like, you can do this, you can do it. Well, yeah, you're making not millions, but you're making thousands of dollars off your podcast. Yeah. He doesn't say, hey, it's going to take time. It's going to take work and diligence. He's just like, hey, anybody can do it. That's my point. It's like, yes, anybody can do it, but anybody can't get to the point of where he is, or Mark Maron, or where Grindhouse Radio is, or where we are at. And we're on the bottom tier. I mean, shit, we're not even close to the Marons or the Joe Rogans. But, he makes it out like anybody can make money. I feel that he says it like people can make money off this. And when we first started, different than what Brim did. Brim started out to make money. It was a business. I did not start out like that. I totally didn't even think about that. Our first 50 episodes, it was just three guys, having some drinks, talking about comic books. And then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, let's start a network. Let's get some advertisers. Let's do this. Let's do that. My intention was not to go to where we are today. I could be bigger than I am, just because of real life situations in the day job and whatnot. But my goal wasn't to be a business. My goal was just to have fun. And, I tell podcasters, if you're not going to have fun, one, you won't make money. That's how I feel. If you're looking to make money in this industry, good luck. It's tough as hell. I mean, Brim is one of the few that have been able to do that. Grindhouse Radio is doing a great job. And I relate it back to, and I've said this on numerous pods, that, if you start a band to make money, you're not going to make money. It doesn't work that way. But if you have fun, you ease into it, your content will generate the fans, what's going on. And you have to have fun. Don't get me wrong. This is a job. Tom and I bust our butts. I mean, I bust my butt in a different way than I don't know Tom's day in and day out with the Grindhouse Radio and how much he has to do, but I know what I have to do. And it's a deal. It's a ball buster. It is, but I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong, but it is work, but we do enjoy it. But it's not like this plug and play. Hey, we just started 5 minutes before the show and this is what we got. Tom does the sports edition. He's the one that gets all the topics. When Hank's here and when all of us are here, I do the non-sports topics and have fun with that. There's work involved. Again, I hope all of you guys enjoy what we put out. I've gotten DMs, so I know that we have fans. Grindhouse Radio, again, check them out. Live on Mondays, they do a live half-hour preview. Then they're live on Thursdays, and then their audio is back on Sundays through the Earplug podcast. Yes, it is. Yeah, it is work. Yeah, it's work, Kim. You know that more than many other podcasters and the fans. But I think our fans don't understand what really goes into it. I mean, one of these days, I'm going to do a show, whether it would be with you or Zambo and maybe even Bram or whatnot, and be like, this is what goes into a show. Like, let's break it right down of here are the graphics. Here's the guests. Here's what we have to design. We have to talk to the guests. We have to do this. We have to plan this. We have to do this. And you guys are doing more boards than I'm doing right now, where I just use the 2, but you're using 3 or 4, and it's through Streamlabs OBS, where you have to, that just happen overnight. And it doesn't take 5 minutes to design. I'm a designer. I know that it takes a lot of time to design and make sure they're right. It might be a good show to give the people the behind the scenes of what we each do.
It's like how it's made.
A show.
It's like an episode of How It's Made.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. So after all that, I'm again, thank you for all the fans, the listeners, since have been listening to us or watching us since April 7th of 2020. And if you haven't yet, I don't know why the hell not, go over to grindhouseradio.com. Check out Tom and the rest of the GHR crew. They are fucking amazing. So we're going to go right into, usually we take a break, but and talk and go into the show, but we're going to do this. Breaking news coming out. Thank you to Mr. Tom Greer, our newscaster for the day. Oh boy, or I should say for the shows. Oakland Athletics today said they will start exploring the possibility of relocating with the blessing of Major League Baseball, a move that could put pressure on local government officials to greenlight a new stadium project that spent years in limbo. The A's, who have played in Oakland since 1968, 2 years before I'm born, they haven't moved anywhere. Very few teams can say they've done that. Have prioritized building a waterfront stadium in downtown Oakland at the Howard Terminal site. But after years of failed stadium plans and weeks after the organization asked for the city council to vote on the $12 billion mixed-use development before a late July summer recess, the long-anticipated specter of the A's looking into relocation became a reality today. This is breaking news. This is only a few hours old. For once, we do a show that actually news comes out before we do the show.
It's about time. It's really about time.
The A's are the lone remaining major professional sports team in Oakland after the NBA's Golden State Warriors moved across by the Bay, San Francisco, and the NFL's Raiders left for Las Vegas. Their pursuit of a new stadium to replace the now 55-year-old Ring Central Coliseum has included multiple sites in Oakland, with Fremont, San Jose, and 2 decades without groundbreaking. The Howard Terminal project, which the A's have proposed privately funding a $1 billion stadium and spending more on a development that would include 3,000 units of affordable housing, office, and retail space in a hotel. So before I get into the rest of this article, Tom, let's get Mr. Greer. What is your take on this? I mean, we know that the Oakland A's, or I'm sorry, the Oakland Raiders got huge flack. So did San Diego for a while. Oakland A's got a huge flack, or Oakland Raiders, I keep saying A's. Raiders got huge flack for moving from where they were, which they were there for years, to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Where your true fans, okay, your true fans are pissed.
Oh,
You spent money on apparel, you spent money supporting them, and they went to Vegas. But at the end of the day, if it's going to keep the franchise going, and if the city or the town that's not supporting them, which is one of the reasons why Raiders left, they go to Vegas, isn't that beneficial? Isn't that better for the sport or the team itself, or no?
I don't know, because I think, the Oakland A's, like, I don't know, they're just such a really awesome team. Like, they're always a team that winds up somehow being an underdog. Like, they're a team that doesn't spend a lot. They know how to find talent and just know how to always be competitive. Not that the team would be gone because you'd just be moving to another city, but it's the Oakland Athletics, man. Their jerseys look awesome. Their branding's awesome. Like, they're a fun team. Like, I would hate to see them have to move to another city, but I know that I was looking on Twitter today and I saw a few people saying maybe they'll move to Vegas with the Raiders, or maybe they'll move to Nashville, because there's always people clamoring for Nashville to get a baseball team.
Right.
Which I think would be fun. I think Nashville should get a baseball team at some point, but I don't know. I think it sucks. I like the Oakland Athletics. I think they're a fun team to root for. I would hate to see them leave because I don't. The
team's the same. It doesn't matter where you're located. The team is still the same.
I know, but it's still like it's still a different team. You know what I'm saying? Like the Seattle Supersonics and the Oklahoma City Thunder don't feel the same. You know what I'm saying? Like the Thrashers and the Jets in the NHL don't seem the same. You know what I'm saying? Like losing the Oakland Athletics would suck. And especially I'd feel bad for the fans in Oakland because they do have a good fan base. They do have people that go watch the games and enjoy the team. So it would just be, me feeling the same way that I feel about the Raider fans that lost their football team. It would suck, but
the same with the Chargers. The Chargers moved twice, correct? Was it the Chargers? Yeah, the Chargers moved twice.
It was the Chargers. Yeah, and it sucks because the Chargers can't sell out their own stadium because nobody in LA cares about two football teams.
Right, exactly. But again, it's a business move. It's not, you don't just move for $1 billion. You don't just move just for the sake of moving. This is a business move. This is something to keep the franchise. The article doesn't
because you can't play in the Oakland. You can't play in the Oakland Coliseum anymore. That place is like falling down. Yeah. It's gross. It's old. They do need a new place to play. And if Oakland's not going to give it to them, I get why they're moving.
Exactly. If the city's not going to rebuild or repair the stadium itself, then move. Oakland A's, they're a decent team. I will be honest with you. I mean, I'm not big in baseball as you are, But when somebody says name 5 teams, Oakland A's are never on my top 5.
I just love their jerseys.
They're just forgotten. Do you know what I'm saying? They're kind of forgotten about. And so what? Guess what? The city's kind of forgetting about them too, because if they have to move to do this, they have to. They are a consistent franchise. I mean, they're not World Series winners, but they're consistent in their stats. They're consistent in their lineup. They're a good team. And does Oakland feel that they're not making them money? I mean, are they not driving revenue to local businesses? Are they not getting the ticket sales? We don't know that yet. That has not been stated in the article. I mean, I'm sure Tom and I could dig deep and try to find that information. But if they're willing to move, let's say Nashville, you know, the MLB is like, okay, that would be considered almost an expansion. Not that we're adding a team, but it is an expansion as far as where they're going. So that could be huge as well. And don't you want a new market? I mean, look at Oakland. Obviously, with the Raiders, they spent a lot of money on that stadium, and then COVID hit, and they had a really bad year. But we reported on this numerous times that Vegas has already recouped half their money back from investments for selling later tickets of concerts and other ways to use the stadium. So they're being smart. Granted, again, they didn't. You know, there was no fans for any of the games. I understand how diehard how fans are. I guess. Tom, what would happen if the Mets left New York?
I'd be devastated. I would absolutely be devastated.
Would you still follow the Mets? Because you strike me as you are diehard Mets, live or die, bleed Mets. If they, let's say they went to Houston, I mean, I'm just throwing it out. Let's say they go to Idaho, the Idaho Mets. Would you still root for the Mets?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not jumping ship. But you see, I think it would also depend. I think it would depend on how it's done. You know, like if the MLB like forced it, I guess I'd be doing it. If, you know, the owners, like I think it was, who was it?
If Uncle Stevie said, you know what, New York, he would cry. Yes, he would cry, Kim.
Yeah,
yes,
I would absolutely. If the Mets left, yes. If the Mets left New York, I would be unbelievably devastated.
We'd have to take a week off from the sports edition for Tom.
Yes, I would need more than a week off. But yeah, no, I would not. You know, I'm not going to jump ship and become a Yankee fan. That's disgusting. I'd never do that.
Wow, holy crap.
Yeah, no, I'd never do that. I would. Yeah, no, I'd absolutely.
There's going to be a put on you right now after you just.
Oh no, I hate that. I am an avid Yankee hater. I hate Yankee fans more than I hate the Yankees, but I do hate the Yankees. But yeah, no, I just, that's what I'm saying. I just feel bad for the fans. Like, I get it from an Oakland A's standpoint. If the city doesn't really care about you and they're not looking to upgrade your stadium, I totally get why you'd want to move. Go move to Vegas. Go move to Vegas and be right next to the Raiders. I think that would be fun. But
that would be fun.
Yeah,
you already have a stadium there. How hard is it to convert it from baseball to football?
Well, that's what they're doing now. I mean, like they when the Raiders are
the
in Oakland,
Vegas A's.
They shared
Vegas
the stadium.
A's. Oh my God, that's perfect. Heard it here first, everyone. We're calling it right now. They're going to Vegas. The Vegas A's.
That'd be awesome.
A's are in the cards. Cards are part of betting. What happens in Vegas? You bet and gamble. Look at that.
Yeah, it's fun. No, because I think I saw it on Twitter. Somebody suggested, like, okay, because I know MLB was talking about potential expansion teams at one point.
Yeah.
So adding the 2 teams, moving the A's to Vegas, then moving the Tampa Bay Rays out of Tampa, moving them to Nashville. And then you got an awesome set of new teams that get involved. But for Oakland, like for the Oakland Athletic fans, I would be like, for the best example I can give you is the Islanders. For a while before, there was always rumors and speculation that the Islanders were going to have to move to Kansas City because their deal at the Coliseum was going to be up. They had no place to move because Barclays Center didn't fit them. I was freaking out because I'm like, I'm about to lose my hockey team. Like, I'm about to lose. The Islanders are my team. I grew up watching them. I'm about to lose them, and I was going to be legitimately devastated. So I can't imagine how they're feeling out in Oakland because they just lost the Raiders and now they're about to lose the A's. Like, that's got to be devastating.
See, I've never been like, as far as like, I'm a Patriots fan. You know, most people that are, I mean, it's New England. I live in the New England area. Everybody's like, why aren't you a Giants fan? This is New York. I'm like, well, they play in Jersey. But the Jets play in Jersey too. I mean, but you know what I'm saying? So I've never been geolocated. Like when I was younger, I was a 49ers fan. It didn't matter what state I was in.
I can't do that.
Where fans are, no, they're dedicated fans are the states that they're in. Now, let's say they get some backlash. How beneficial could this be? Let's just randomly say they go to Vegas. Now, pandemic wise, the Raiders really got it shoved up their butt. I mean, obviously, but Vegas, I don't know why there hasn't been a professional team before this ever to go to Vegas. Vegas is a destination spot, and on top of the fact, it's a drinking spot. Hey, you know what? We're having some fun. Last minute, let's go to a game. You don't get that in New York per se. You don't get that in Houston per se. They're going to get increased ticket sales. They're going to see those last minute impulse buys. I have beef with Raiders. Why? What is wrong with Kim's? What's wrong with?
Well, we were doing on FanDuel, they do a gridiron pick'em where you have to pick teams every week to win. You just pick who's going to win, and if you pick them all right, you win $10,000. And I let her, and me and Kim, I would let her make my picks. Well, she made my picks one week, and she was one game off. I don't remember if the Raiders had to win
just one game off of getting $10,000.
And it was the Raider game.
Shit.
Yeah, so she's got forever beef with the Vegas Raiders. Then Oakland, they were still the Oakland Raiders. Then,
seriously though, she was one game off of
100%. 100%. It was her first time too. I don't know. You see, I don't know how if they split the pot with whoever picks all the things, but yes, you win $10,000 if you pick all the games right. And it was her first time picking. She was one game off. Yeah, one game.
Wow.
It's crazy.
Sorry, Kim.
It's crazy.
We can start you a GoFundMe. I feel sorry for Kim because she picked the Raiders. GoFundMe.
Yeah, but you say I don't understand that. Like people, like I am such a live and die sports fan that I couldn't imagine rooting for anybody, being a diehard fan of anybody else other than the Giants, Islanders, Mets, and yeah, that's it. And Knicks. I guess Knicks.
If you lived in California, you would pick that team?
No. If I lived in California, I would still be a Mets fan. I would still be a Giants fan.
That's what I'm doing. That's how I am. But there are people that are diehard. This is where I live. This is my team. I live in New York. I mean, obviously they still play in Jersey, but I'm a New York Giants or a New York Jets fan, or I'm a Mets fan or a Yankees fan. If I live in Boston, then I'm a Boston fan. There's a lot of people that are right here insane. GoFundMe. Yeah, let's do it, Kim. Let's get it. But that's too funny. But they are diehard. There's different diehards. Obviously, you are diehard no matter where you are in the United States. Matter. Even if let's say you move to London, you're still going to be a Mets fan. That's just the way it is. And I get that. I totally get that. And
can't jump ship yet. I've suffered for too long.
Yeah, well, Uncle Stevie's not doing as well as we thought he would with those.
And they're in first place. They're in first place.
Well, we'll see. We shall see. We shall see. The season's not over yet. They were in first place for a while last year, and look what happened to that.
Oh, well, they were bad last year.
It was COVID.
That was COVID, and that was a Wilpon-owned Mets. Uncle Stevie didn't own them yet.
Right.
It's a new year.
All right, let's get into today's show. The Jaguars and Jesus. I just wow. Okay, they're getting religious. You want a free burger if you're a cheesehead? You might be able to get that anytime. Connor McDavid, the most unpredicted athlete. I don't really know if that's true. Is he even worth being an athlete? All that and more when we return. Don't go anywhere. Grab your drinks. We'll be right back.
Introducing Body Armor Edge, sports hydration with the boost of caffeine.
Kyler Murray drops back, looks downfield. Here comes the blitz. Murray finds an opening. And dives, and he misses. He's got daylight. Murray sprinting, picking up speed.
With 100 milligrams of caffeine and 1,000 milligrams of electrolytes, there's no better way for Kyler Murray to get his edge. It's more than a sports drink. It's Body Armor Edge.
Welcome back, everybody, to Tuesday Night Edition. Yes, we are back. Yes, I know I've been gone for 2 weeks. Come on. You got to put your hands together for Mr. Tom Greer.
Thank you.
He took care of the show last week with just 10 minutes.
Wasn't the same without you, but me and Snacks had fun, but it just wasn't the same.
I heard your props. I heard you. I got it. But you guys did it amazingly well. It was awesome. You took care of the show. Snacks. If something happens to you and I'm done, there's no show because Snacks doesn't even barely know how to turn on a computer, let alone the camera or anything else that's on there. So, but it would just be bad. But thank you so much for sitting in the captain's seat last week.
No
much
problem.
appreciated.
Anytime.
Don't say that. But anyway, well, let's get. If you missed the beginning of the show, you can go back and watch the replay. We talked about the A's. What do you guys feel about the A's? Let us know in the comments. I know some of our regulars are not in. Al's not here. I think Rob is still on the Facebook hiatus. But let us know if you're watching the rewatch or you're listening to the audio. What do you think about the A's move? And what would you think if your own team moved? Is this a bad thing? Is this a good thing? I mean, I guess it's still your team. I guess I don't get the geolocation of the whole situation.
You can't go support them. You can't go support them. Like, look, for example, I've
never been to a Patriots game, but I still support them, and I live here.
That's true. But look, I like, as for me, like
you want to be there.
I want to be able to go to games. Like I have a dream of being able to live in New York, so I like stay living in New York and not have to move, so I can continue to go to Mets games, Islanders games, Giants games, because there's just nothing like live sports that just makes it so much fun. But no, yeah, I get that. I'd never, like we said before, if the team moved, I'd never quit rooting for my team. I lived and died by these guys.
This means an extra plane ticket to fly out to go see them.
Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully Hank and I, or Snacks and I, will be able to go see how Tom looks when he's sitting in Mets Stadium next to Kim. To see when we finally get down there to watch a game, a Mets game with Tom and Tom and Mrs. Tom. I guess we'll call it Tom and Mrs. Tom. We're gonna go see the Mets with Tom and Mrs. Tom, and we're gonna see the look on Tom and Mrs. Tom's face when they're watching the Mets.
Nice. She was laughing at me last time we were at the game.
I'm sure she was. All right, let's get into it. Before the break, the Jaguars find Jesus. Tim Tebow is back. Can you believe it? I would never thought he would be coming back. Tim Tebow is coming back to the NFL after 6 years hiatus. The Jaguars plan to sign the former NFL quarterback to a 1-year deal. Now, this is coming from CBS Sports. Former Heisman Trophy winner Tebow went 9-7 as the Broncos starting quarterback before spending 1 season with the New York Jets. He had then 2 uneventful stops with the Jets and Patriots before spending nearly 5 years in the Mets minor league. As he stated, I have one job, and that's to win games with the Jaguars. Meyer said, if Tim Tebow or Travis Etienne can help us win, that's my job to get them. My thoughts right off the bat. Jesus Christ, Tebow, you weren't great when you were in your prime. You ain't great now. This is a last dish. First off, why would the Jaguars spend the money? We don't know. Do we know exactly how much money that they're giving him for 1 year?
It can't be a lot. I can't imagine it's a lot of money.
It better not be more than what they gave Cam.
Oh yeah, definitely is not. It definitely can't be anywhere near what the Patriots are paying.
Out of the game. You're 6 years out of the game. You're probably working at Home Depot. Sorry, Tim Tebow. I was never a big fan of you when you were in your supposed prime and practicing. 6 years out of the game. I'll be devil's advocate. He must have shown them in practice or tryouts that he could do this. I don't see the Jaguars. And I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, saying they couldn't have done this blind, unseen, that we're going to give you a 1-year tryout. There's nobody in the draft. There's nobody free agency that's better than Tim Tebow that you can get. This strikes me as really odd.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. The only reason that Tim Tebow is in Jacksonville right now is because Urban Meyer is the head coach, and Urban Meyer was his head coach when he was in Florida. That is very funny. That's the only reason that this is happening. Because you're right, there are other people that are way more qualified than Tim Tebow. The reason, like, Tim Tebow's playing tight end, people were trying to reposition him when he first came out of college into the NFL. People were trying to make him a tight end, the running back, something other than a quarterback. But he didn't. He wasn't having any of it. Now all of a sudden, because Urban Meyer's the coach in Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence is down there. Now you're okay with being a tight end just because you want to play football. Like, you had your time. I get it. You had your time. You gave it your shot. there's other people that deserve these opportunities other than Tim Tebow, who's probably going to be he won't even be an average tight end. You know, like I know he still keeps himself in shape. The dude was in the Mets. He was in the Mets minor leagues for years.
6 years ago. He's 6 years older.
I understand. No, that's what I'm saying. Like the dude's 33 years old. 33 years old. You shouldn't be getting your start back in football again. Yeah. But he's getting paid so much money at ESPN. ESPN he's a college football analyst for ESPN. They're literally just backed up the Brinks truck for him. You know, like there's no reason for this to be happening, especially when you have other guys not in the league. You know, like it's crazy.
Where's my special effects? This is the special, sad, disappointing Michael Jordan return of Tim Tebow.
Don't even put Tim Tebow and Michael Jordan in the same sentence.
I know. But still, Michael Jordan should have not come back the second time. You know, why? I mean,
look, I'm never going to fault somebody for chasing their dreams.
First off, Tebow's not going to sell you tickets. Don't tell me that there's enough fans out there that are going to buy Jaguar tickets. He's not a draw. This is not like who am I thinking of for soccer? Crap.
Beckham? David Beckham?
Yeah. Now, LA got him, and we talked about this, I think about a month ago or 3 weeks ago. LA hired him. He had a broken ankle. He didn't play the whole season. They hired him and brought him on as a player. And just knowing that he might show up on the field, their ticket sales increased by 15 to 20% because he's Beckham. Tebow's not even close to being Cam at this point.
Well, absolutely not. You're right. But the thing is Tim Tebow, ever since he got out of college, has always been he's brought some kind of circus along with him. You know, like it's always been that way. People have always wanted to see what Tebow was going to do because he was bad. Like he was absolutely terrible when he came out. I know he has the one playoff win against the Steelers, but
big deal.
The dude was bad, but people still followed him and wanted to see what he does. So no, there is going to be a small contingent of people that go buy tickets because, oh wow, I want to see how Tim Tebow does at tight end now. And especially since he's going back to Florida, where he's a god in Florida because he took the Gators to the national championship a few times, you know, so he'll draw people. It's just
he is now the real life Al Bundy. You know, back in the day when I ran 3 touchdowns in high school.
Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's so dumb. Like
there's better money. There's better money to be wasted on somebody else than him.
Yeah,
that's how I feel.
Exactly. If Urban Meyer wasn't the head coach, in Jacksonville, this wouldn't be happening. He would be on his couch watching it from home, or he'd be at ESPN broadcasting it or talking about it. He wouldn't be on the field if Urban Meyer was not in Jacksonville.
Totally agree. All right, let's move on to the next.
I don't know if that's nepotism. Is that what nepotism means?
Pretty good. Could be. We know about Tom and Snacks talked about, and I wish I was on that episode, but I did not have a voice. I was extremely sick. Talking about
that was the biggest I was so upset that you couldn't be on for that week because I was like, we're talking about Aaron Rodgers asking to leave.
I called this shit a month ago saying that he's not going to be there, and Snacks argued with me tooth and nail that Aaron's not leaving. And I was arguing. I'm like, he's leaving. He's not going to stay. He's not going to stay. I wish I could remember exactly what episode it is so I could play the clip, but Snacks argued with me tooth and nails. But anyway, Aaron might stay after this deal because he could get free burgers and beer for life if he stays with the Green Bay Packers. Green Bay restaurant offers Aaron Rodgers free burgers and beer for life if he stays. Like he can't afford his own. He could buy your restaurant, my friend.
Yeah, he could. He could buy the whole block your restaurant's on.
Yeah. Mr. Bruce Paphouse says it will provide Rodgers and fiance Shaylee Woodley with free food and beer for life if Rodgers finishes his career as a Packer. Seriously, we can't let Aaron go, Mr. Bruce, founder and CEO Steve Day said in a news release, according to the Green Bay Press Gazette. No way, no how. Not only is he coming off yet another MVP season, but he is the face of our beloved franchise. Mr. Bruce Taphouse is hoping that the way to Rodgers' heart is through his stomach. I like this article. This is a fun anecdote kind of thing. It's nice to see the businesses or the town itself get behind Rodgers. But at the end of the day, we've talked about this, and you could probably listen to last week's, the week before that, or the last 4 weeks of how we've talked about how Packers have not taken care of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
We've talked that they spend money on stupid crap, stupid positions, and excuse my language, where the fuck are you getting your receivers? Give him the weapons he needs. He doesn't have everything he needs. He needs receivers. The front line, I will give you, is decent, but it isn't the best either. Yeah. And when you're with a team for 12 years, putting your heart and soul, blood, sweat, and tears, we've seen the Patriots spend crazy, stupid amount of money for receivers to give Brady what he needs. I mean, also, once again, it sounds like a broken record, but the Patriots, while the Brady was there, was probably the hardest working defenses or offenses in NFL history. Yeah. Because the man couldn't move. But who did that? Belichick and that team got him what he needed. What have the Packers ever done for him? And I think Aaron Rodgers is set and done. And no matter whether he gets free food or not, and we joke about it, is a nice gesture. And I know that it's nice to see a city, town, and the people stand behind its players. Like you were saying, it's geolocated. You're a New York Mets fan. You stand by them 110%. You're in New York. But there's not a man. He could buy your restaurant. He'll buy your block. He probably could buy Green Bay.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like, dude, it's kind of crazy. It's funny. I will at first hand, I'll tell you right now that the giving guys free food doesn't work. We tried it on Long Island. Somebody was trying to give John Tavares free bagels for the rest of his life, and guess what? He's in Toronto now. So
the bagels are better in Toronto.
yeah. Okay, you bite your tongue, man. Sir, there are no such thing. There are no such thing as bagels or pizza outside of the state of New York. They don't exist.
That's not true. That's not true. Chicago's got some great pizza, my friend.
It's not pizza. That's a casserole. Get out of here. That's not pizza.
I will
deep dish pizza. Deep dish pizza is deep dish pizza is not pizza.
Fight you. It is pizza.
Deep dish pizza is not pizza. It's cheese casserole. It's gross. It's a bread bowl with a bunch of cheese and sauce in it. That's not pizza. Get out of here. But we're talking about Aaron Rodgers.
I'm kicking you out of Food Town. You're moving out. I'm kicking you out. You can't be
New York
Food Town
pizza.
anymore.
New York pizza beats Chicago pizza, and it ain't even close. It's like Tyson fighting a little person.
Oh man,
yeah.
You just opened up a can of worms that I don't know if you can defend right now.
I absolutely can defend it because New York pizza is amazing. But we're talking about Aaron Rodgers, and I don't think free burgers is going to keep him there because you're right. Like we've said for weeks, they don't take care of Rodgers. I know, it's the reason me and Hank were talking about it last week. Like the Packers aren't a bad team. Like the Packers every year are making the playoffs. They're either in the divisional round, they're either in the championship game, but they just can't get it done because they don't put an onus on drafting players or drafting young players to bring in that'll help Rodgers. Like instead, they focus on drafting his replacement. I get that you have to take that into account because Rodgers is getting closer to the end of his career. But when you spend years and years drafting defensive players or players that are not a single weapon for Rodgers to deal with, he's gonna want out. The dude wants to win a Super Bowl, and when you haven't won a Super Bowl in 10 years, maybe it's time for a change. He's seen Brady. He's seen Brady up and leave for Tampa.
Right. I didn't get to talk with you last week because obviously with my voice and everything, the rumor was, that he was leaving the Packers. And then the quick rumor was he's going to Denver.
Yeah.
I was excited to see that. I'll be honest with you. I was excited to see that. And now it sounds like he's not going anywhere. So I was, like I said, I really wanted, would you have been excited to see him at Denver? I would have, to give him one more year or 2 more years, pull a Brady routine. I think that would have been awesome. Do I think that he could make it? Not his first year. He might get them into the playoffs. But again, I said this about Brady with Tampa Bay going, they're not going to make the playoffs. Again, he's the goddamn GOAT. I don't know what the hell. It just flows. I said Cam would get them to the playoffs, and they didn't. The team just does not gel. Aaron Rodgers could get Denver to the playoff. I think, honestly, if he was at the Denver the second year, he could give him actually a Super Bowl. I mean, he's one of the most underrated, unappreciated quarterbacks. I don't want to say in NFL history, but in recent history, where he just doesn't. He reminds me, like I've said this before, he reminds me of Dan Marino from the Dolphins, the most unappreciated quarterback in the history, because he didn't have a great team around him. I mean,
I agree with you, but the thing is I do think Rodgers had a good team around him because, like I said, that team is always in contention. That team is always vying for a Super Bowl.
Then why
year
didn't they
after
get
year
to
after
where
year.
they go? Then why didn't
because
they go
don't have
farther?
that because they don't have that one extra piece to put them over the top. It's Devontae Adams or nothing. That's what I
Yeah,
understand.
yeah,
And Devontae
yeah.
Adams might even want out at the end of his deal if Rodgers leaves. I don't know if him going to Denver makes them an instant Super Bowl contender. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they get another weapon in there. I don't know.
We didn't think Tampa Bay was going to be a Super Bowl contender. Granted, it's Tom Brady.
No.
But I didn't expect that. I did not expect that.
My friend, go back and listen to those shows. I
did not.
I did because Tom Brady was going down to Tampa with an insane amount of weapons. He was going down with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard, Rob Gronkowski when he brought him down there, Leonard Fournette, who I didn't really know how great Leonard Fournette was going to be, but at least his receivers, I knew were going to be all worldly. I knew they were because he had two of the leading receivers in all the football.
Listen, I totally agree with you. Talent is talent, but when you can't practice because of COVID, you have to gel with your team. I didn't expect this to happen. Don't get me. Maybe yes, it's not all just Brady. I mean, he is the GOAT, but again, it's. I didn't think they would gel as quick as they did, and
I would
expect
expect
a testament to him.
I would expect Tom Brady to go down to Tampa and be good with the receivers that they had more than I would expect Aaron Rodgers to go to Denver and be an instant Super Bowl contender with what they have, because Denver doesn't have Chris Godwin or Mike Evans because those are the two
but if you brought
best
Tebow
receivers in all of
yeah,
football.
Tebow. But if you brought Aaron Rodgers in, would you then turn around? What did Tampa Bay do? They listened to Brady and said, "Hey, I want Gronk. I want this person. I want to do this." Would they listen to Tebow? I keep saying Tebow. Aaron Rodgers and be like, "Hey, Aaron's going to say, hey, I want this receiver, or I want this tight end, or I want this." They
depends
would
on
do
who's
that.
available, though. But it depends on who's available. Though. I don't know who's.
Of
you
course.
know. That's the thing. The thing is Brady went down to Tampa Bay.
Brady went down with a plan, though. Brady went down with a plan.
He went down with a plan to already set situation for him to win. He went down, and there was already a team with a good defense and a solid receiving core and offense around him. They just needed the quarterback. I'm not 100% sure that Denver is one of those situations. Yeah, they have a couple good, maybe one good wide receiver, two good wide receivers. Like Courtland Sutton's pretty good. Jerry Jeudy was pretty good, but I don't think that they have the weapons that Tampa did. Like I don't necessarily think that.
No, I understand. I agree with you. I agree. I totally agree with you. But again, one man can make other men rise up.
True. That's very true.
As corny as it sounds, leadership makes people come out of their shell or just be like a new fire under their ass. Like this is how we can do this. And we've seen that. We've seen that in any sports. We've seen that with Jordan. I mean, in basketball, I mean, he rose that rest of that team up because he fired their asses up, and that does happen. But again, Brady's a little bit of an exception because I really feel that he already had Gronk. And he had all the things planned out before the real announcement was there. I think this was a planned event. Obviously, we're not going to see Rodgers going to Denver. We're not going to see him play anymore. I hope he stays retired. I hope.
Well, he didn't retire yet. He hasn't retired yet. That's not it. He hasn't retired just yet.
I think he's going to retire. I mean, there's no real serious plans for him yet. Where do you think he's going to go? Where do you think he's going?
I don't know. The Packers might call his bluff, and he might just reluctantly go show up in Green Bay. He said he wants to play into his 40s. So
the only way they're going to do it is give him more money, and they just gave him a raise last year.
I understand that, but I mean, like, he has to fulfill his deal. He has to fulfill the deal because if he leaves, he's stuck with the Packers. You can't like not show up and expect this 1 year that he has left to just go away. Like, why not just ride it out this year? You're a team that was one step away from the Super Bowl. They were one step away from the Super Bowl. Why not just ride it out and go to another team next year?
If you're not happy, what's the deal? What we want to know what the contract states. If you break your contract, how much you have to pay back, or what's the penalty of breaking it? Because if it's that bad, or if it's not that bad, I don't see Aaron Rodgers going here. Here's my fee. I'm out. I'm done. I mean, if you're that upset with what the Packers have done not done to him, but I guess done to him, and give me what I need. He's not asking for more money. I think he's being kind of reasonable about everything. Just give me the things that I need. I need weapons. And he's asking for stuff that makes the team better. It's not like he's asking for a shit ton of money going, I don't care about if I win a Super Bowl or not. I just want more money. He's looking because he loves the team and and this is what happens. We'll talk more about it, I'm sure, once we hear more, but I think he would. I would not be shocked if he breaks his contract and says screw it.
But the thing is, I don't know how that works. I don't know if he can just say, "Okay, I'm done," and then go find another team. I don't know if that's. I don't think that's.
No, he's
allowed.
probably got to pay a penalty fee, or he's got to do like what they would do in the corporate world, a non-compete, where you can't play for a year, you can't play with any other team.
I'd have to look and see how that is, because I feel like you'd see more NFL players doing that if that was allowed. I don't think that they can do that. I don't know how that works, but
I'm sure it's based.
I know
on
he doesn't want to
contract.
come back. I know it's gone beyond whether or not they can put stuff around him at this point. I know he hates the people that are in the front office. He hates the guy running the team right now. He's calling him Jerry Krause, the guy that ruined that built and ruined the Bulls. So it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know. They're going to have. I feel like they're going to have to trade him at some point, especially if he's going to be disgruntled. He's going to find his way out of Green Bay.
They got gold though. The other thing is, how many teams can afford what Packers want for Aaron Rodgers? I mean,
not a lot.
Not a lot. Who right off your list do you think could afford Aaron Rodgers? Because we know the Packers are going to ask for a ton.
Well, they were talking about. I know they were talking about the Niners, but that deal got shut down. They were talking about Denver, but that's probably not happening. I would love it if the Giants kind of just picked up the phone and asked. I don't know. I really don't know who's going to wind up getting Aaron Rodgers, but
I really, you know what? I've been harping on this. Somebody do something with the Jets. Bring him to the Jets.
Well, no, the Jets just drafted their.
I know, but I'm saying, I would have liked to seen him in Denver. I think out of all the teams that are out there, I would have.
It could still happen. You don't know. It could still happen. You don't really know. But I don't.
They don't have deep pockets, and they don't really have much to trade. That's the thing. I mean, there's no trading going on with them, so they have nothing there for them.
I also don't necessarily know if you put Aaron Rodgers on Denver, he's in any better position to win a Super Bowl than if he was with the Green Bay Packers, especially since he's in the AFC with Denver, and the AFC has to contend with Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs.
True. But look at it this way. The attitude of the team is better, or different, I should say. He's in a better mood. He has a chance to prove himself. He could
you got to fight Pat Mahomes. But you have to fight Pat Mahomes to get to a Super Bowl. Pat Mahomes is the best quarterback in football right now.
On that note, I'm not going to argue with you on that one. Doesn't matter. I think a different atmosphere. I think a different outlook, a different team. Again,
altitude.
You know what? That's true too, boy. You pass out right on that field. Definitely pass out on that field. That sound means we're at the Body Armor halftime. We'll be right back.
Calling it a day, Carrie?
Oh no, there's more.
Like what?
More reps, more steps. More this, more that. More time to breathe. More hustle, more grind.
There's more to Carrie Underwood.
And I should wrap by midnight.
Impressive.
And there's more to Body Armor Light with natural sweeteners, no sugar added, and only 20 calories.
It's the Tuesday night edition. Today with DW, the sports edition with myself, Mr. Tom Greer. Snacks
hello.
is on Snackcation. He will be back. I don't know. Maybe he'll be back next week. I can't tell you if he'll be back next week, and now who knows what's going on. But we're going to get right into today in sports history. Today in sports history is brought to you by Venture Family Fun Center. Check them out. They are open now Tuesday through Thursdays, 3 to 7 p.m., Fridays, 3 p.m. to 9 p.m., Saturdays, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., Sundays, 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now, they are still based on reservations only, but they are open 100% inside and outside, weather depending, obviously, for the outside. You have to wear your masks and do social distancing, but everything's being cleaned, everything's being taken care of. Laser tag, arcade, food. Their go-karts are amazing. Finally, if we ever get Tom up here this year, we said it all last year, we got to get Tom up here. We're going to be doing a go-kart race up there. But if you need more information and contact them, you go to adventurefamilyfun.com. Take it away, Mr. Greer.
Okay, so we got today in sports history. Today, back in 1893, I'm going to butcher this last name. Henry Desgrange establishes the first ever bicycle world record, traveling 35.325 kilometers, which equates to like 21.95 miles. 21.95 miles an hour, which is absolutely insane. Fast on a bike.
Crazy.
1919, the Washington Senators' future Hall of Fame ace Walter Johnson pitches 12 scoreless innings in a famous 0-0 duel with Jack Quinn of the New York Yankees at the Polo Grounds. 1963, the LA Dodgers pitcher Sandy Koufax, so it's his second career no-hitter, beats Juan Marichal and the San Francisco Giants 3-0. I thought that said 8. 1972, the Giants. Willie Mays just had his 90th birthday recently.
Nice.
Today, back in 1972, the Giants traded Willie Mays to the Mets for pitcher Charlie Williams in cash. They might as well. I don't know why they made this trade because Willie Mays was basically at the end of his career when this happened. He was a shell of himself when he got to the Mets. 1980, Pete Rose at 39 steals second, third, and home in one inning for the Philadelphia Phillies, which I hate putting the Phillies in here because I absolutely hate the Phillies. But finally, in 1988, Mario Andretti records the fastest Indianapolis 500 lap at 221.565 miles per hour.
Nice.
That is fast. That is flying.
That is damn. Oh, yeah. Damn. What's going on, Mr. Little? I was just on his podcast.
What is up, Brian?
Yes,
Brian's got a great podcast.
Yes, he does. I was just on his podcast the other day. Your favorite blockhead. I was joking, and if Brian's still listening, because I have a potty mouth on other podcasts, and he chose not to do all the editing. He goes, it was too real and too raw. I think he was just being nice to me, going, I'm sorry. I don't. He was like, well, I got to do the editing, and like, you're not going to be able to edit these F-bombs out, man. You're going to be there for hours. You're just going to be there for hours. But I toned down at the end. I was trying to be nice. I was like, okay, I'm good. But he goes, it was too real, too raw. I'm not going to edit it. I think he was just trying to be nice, going, yeah, that would have cost me some hours of editing. But anyway, a couple more articles to get to. Damn it. I don't want to talk baseball. Fuck this shit. Really? All right. The Mets are cautious with their ace. Jacob deGrom will be placed on injured list by the New York Mets with tightness in his right side, a move that will keep the ace from taking the mound until May 20th at the earliest. Now, the Mets has said in NMRN Sunday night was clean of any issues. The team said it will place deGrom on the injured list before Tuesday's series opener against Baltimore, a move that will be retroactive to Monday. Now, 32-year-old right-hander deGrom is 3-2 with a major league best, a .68 ERA and 65 strikeouts, 2 KOs behind Trevor Bauer of the Los Angeles Dodgers for the NL lead. Now, how much do you think? I don't curse on my show, but I don't tell my guests what to do. Sorry, Brian. I apologize. That's fucking awesome. No, anyway, so do you think this could hurt your chances even more? You are in first place.
I mean, it's not going to help. It really sucks that deGrom's hurt, but I'm just glad that the Mets decided, because usually the Mets back in the day, because they gave him an MRI, the MRI came back clean. If that happened with the Mets from years ago, Jacob deGrom would be making his next start and then probably hurting himself even more. So I'm not worried about Jacob deGrom in the regular season. I want him to get a pad of stats, win another Cy Young. That's great. Yeah. As long as you're healthy, can help the team get to the playoffs and win in the playoffs, I'm totally fine. I think the Mets have the pitching this year that they can eat this for a start or two. But I'm more concerned with Jacob deGrom's health, because he's literally the greatest pitcher I've ever watched in my entire life. Like, it's insane. I can't believe, like, every time he steps on the mound, I'm like, I can't believe I get to watch this right now. This must be what people felt like when they watched Tom Seaver, like,
yeah, I can see that. Yep.
He's that good. He's literally amazing.
I can totally see that.
It was scary when he came out of the game in the 6th inning, but if it means that he's going to be fully healthy and ready to go when
we don't know that yet either, that if he will be fully healthy, he could not even, he might not even make the playoffs.
Well, I'm not going to get that crazy just yet. It's only the 10-day DL, but it is a back issue, and you always get scared of back issues. Yep. But smart move. Put him on the DL, let him rest for a while, let him come back when he's off of it, and continue to be the best pitcher in all of baseball.
Very good. Very good. All right. We're going to end the show with more baseball. Damn it. I was so close to making it without any baseball. Damn it.
You weren't that close.
MLB Power Rankings show a surprise team topping the list. Taking over at number 1 this week, the Boston Red Sox, who boast the the major's highest scoring offense, averaging 5.3 runs per game. The Red Sox won 5 of their 6 games last week, scoring at least 11 runs in 3 of them. Trevor Bauer on the Dodgers' recent slide that has them 18-17. He says, "I'm pissed personally. I don't like losing. I want to win." So what do we think about this?
I think it's crazy that the Red Sox are the best team in baseball right now, because everybody thought that they were going to be a dumpster fire all year, because I couldn't name a single person on the Red Sox other than like Xander Bogaerts, and that might actually be it. You know,
but you know what though?
Crazy.
What did I say earlier about Rodgers or a leader? We don't need to name the superstars. If the team gels, the team gels. These people, these players will be known next year. Or if they keep going through the season, you're going to know their names. And guess what? They're going to be getting top dollar, and then they're going to be able to name their ticket. I mean, we could go back. We always go back to Jordan and the Bulls. Some of those players were never even known. You didn't know Scottie Pippen when he first came out. Nobody know. Like, what the joke is that gangly looking guy doing? And look at him. He was one of Jordan's right hand man. You know, I mean, a Harvey Grant, same thing. A Horace Grant, excuse me. Nobody cared for him, and all of a sudden, 2 seasons in, he's kicking butt with the Bulls. So yes, we want to have our superstars. They obviously they make their names. You know, like the Mahomes, the Bradys, whatnot, Rodgers. As you see, I name football players because I don't know enough baseball players. That doesn't mean that we that the no-namers are there. I mean, listen, Brady was what round draft pick was he? He was a no-namer, and look at him.
You're right.
So that does make a difference, and sometimes that's kind of an advantage, my friend. They don't know what to expect. All of a sudden, the Boston Red Sox are great. Nobody knows. Yeah, they see their stats or whatever, but they don't know who's Joe Schmo on third base, or who's this pitcher, or who's the guy in first. Who's that guy just hit 2 home runs? I've never heard of him in his life. How many years has he been playing baseball? That's kind of like an advantage. That's kind of like exciting. Seeing a no-namer come up and all of a sudden kicking the crap out of, hitting a home run out of nowhere, or hitting 2 home runs or whatever. That's baseball. I think that's exciting. I think that's really exciting.
No, I think it is. It's just but it's more. I was just surprised because the Dodgers have been so bad recently that it's like the Dodgers have one of the most talented lineups in all of baseball. Like one of the most talented. They have a good rotation. They have a good lineup. They have a good, everything. The team is just amazing. They did just win a World Series. Right. I'm just surprised that the Red Sox of all the teams are the best team in baseball right now.
So I would say that's a combination of the coaching and the team melding together.
Yeah, no, it totally is. The team, it's a bunch of people it's a bunch of guys that have bought into whatever their coaches have or their manager has, and they're a better team than everybody thought they'd be, which is good.
Listen, everybody thought the Yankees were going to come out strong, and they're sucking at. Well, they're getting a little bit better this year, but they're
turning around. They're turning around now, but no, they did not start the season all that well.
We have a comment from Mrs. Tom. I don't know if I missed something in the comments. But competitive darts, is that still a thing? Is that a random question, Mrs. Tom?
I think competitive darts is still a thing. I think I've seen it on Reddit a few times.
On Reddit. Jesus Christ. It's been on ESPN, Kim. So yes, it is. So's cornhole.
Yep.
Because I just watched cornhole again this weekend. $10,000 payoff, my friend.
There we go.
So before we end the show, what week are we in baseball?
What week are we in?
Yeah,
we're quite a few weeks in. Like, okay. I don't know. I don't have a number of weeks.
Are we at the halfway mark yet?
No, not yet.
Okay,
no, not yet.
So, any predictions yet to how you feel, or is it too early yet?
I think it's still too early.
Don't put your heart with the Mets. Don't put your heart with the Mets, but I know you will. Yes, cornhole is great. See, Mr. Tom, Mrs. Tom likes cornhole.
I enjoy cornhole.
Start reporting on cornhole because I was on TV this weekend and I got no article from it. I was waiting to see if there's an article. It was on ESPN. But anyway, is it too early to maybe make a couple predictions of who you see? Obviously, Boston's on a hell of a fucking trail right now and doing some great work. What do you see? Is it too early for you to predict?
I think it's still too early for me right now. I don't, because a lot of the teams have been really mediocre recently. Like there aren't really any teams that are like running away with things, So I think it's still a little too early for me to be making any predictions like that.
Okay.
I would just get super emotional about it and say the Mets are still going to be, there at the end of the season. But we still need to get there.
You don't want to jinx it, do you?
I don't want to jinx it. No, I'm a very superstitious person. I don't want to
It's like
jinx
you're
it.
gonna jinx it before over. I'll have you pull it. I'll pull it out of you before the season's over. I guarantee it.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on the Tuesday night edition, the sports edition today with DW. I apologize for not being here for the last 2 weeks. It's just been crazy. It's just, I've been sick, and what's one thing you need for a podcast? A voice. And guess what? I didn't have it. But thank you again for Tom doing the only Today with DW last week, the sports edition. He took charge and did a great job with himself and Snacks. Again, give him some praise and give him some claps. I know Al was on. He just showed up. He said you guys did a great episode last week, so that's awesome. And
Al's awesome.
I know what you're going to say, Tom, but be creative and give us some
Be
last
creative.
words. Give us some last words.
Okay, I got it. ABP, always be podcasting.
On that note, we're out of here. Peace.
This has been an Earplug Podcast presentation. Found on earplugpodcast.com, iTunes, SoundCloud, and wherever your favorite podcasts are found.